Kevin, I'm so glad that you came in today. Congratulations on the new baby. After all these months of me trying to get you in here, I am guessing the baby is the driver as to why we are talking about life insurance today.
Yeah, that's why I came today.
Awesome. How's Rachel doing?
Doing good. She's with the baby, dealing with the crying and feeding and, just being a parent.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Of course. Now, have you and Rachel talked specifically about what kind of coverage you are looking for?
We talked about it earlier a few days ago, but we're trying to figure out the calculations for it.
Okay, all right. So how I actually help most of my customers in terms of determining the amount of life insurance they need is what we call a financial need analysis, where we go through some of the expenses that you or your spouse may face when the other pass away, and then have a guideline as to what we should be looking at. You're okay with spending a few minutes looking through these numbers?
Absolutely.
Okay, so to start, I wanted to have you kind of take a look at your needs are, and then also what Rachel's needs are, depending on what we are going to be discussing in a little bit. I know Rachel is not here, so she's not going to be able to answer some of these questions for us. Answer it on behalf of Rachel as best as you can. Then after we finish, take this home, discuss it with her again, and then if there's anything that we have to change, just give me a call and then we'll make some modification on this, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's start first with the living arrangement. If one of you were to pass, if I remember correctly, Kevin, you are renting right now, right?
We are, yes.
Okay, so first let's talk about you. If you were to pass and Rachel survives, do you want to leave money for her to be able to pay for rent up to a certain period of time? Do you prefer that you leave some money where she can actually maybe purchase a home and get it paid off so she doesn't have to worry about it anymore? What would be your preference?
I prefer her to purchase a home.
Okay, all right. So how much would you like to leave for her so that she would be able to purchase the home, and if you want it all paid off or not?
800,000.
800,000. Wow, that's definitive. So you know for a fact that you want to leave her 800,000 so she can purchase a home and have it paid off.
Yes, with the cost of living now, and I figure, in the future, that's about right.
Okay, now let's take that scenario and flip it around. What happens if Rachel passed? Would you want to also be able to pay off a mortgage and be able to have a house that is taken care of so that you don't have to worry about that living arrangement?
I do, yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Next, I'm going to ask is any short-term debts that you have and if you want to have it paid off or not. So here we're talking about credit cards, auto loans, maybe medical expenses, any school loans maybe you or Rachel still have going on.
I have a couple car payments I'm making each month and then credit card bills. So I would say 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you pass, you want Rachel to be able to pay that off?
Yes.
And then vice versa as well?
Correct, yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, next we want to talk about final expenses. If one of you to pass with the other person having to handle that kind of expense, would you want that to be taken care of? So we're talking about the funeral expenses, the celebration of life, anything like that.
Yes, I do. Funeral expenses, yes.
Yes, absolutely. So how much do you think you would be comfortable with leaving for Rachel and then vice versa?
I would say 5,000.
Okay, perfect. All right. Once we get that taken care of course, you have 2 children, and we are going to talk about education. If you were to pass today, would you want to leave money for their education, and how much are we talking about?
Yes, I do. I would say 50,000 per child.
50,000 per child. Okay, so I've got $100,000 that we are going to make sure that they get and the education is taken care of. Okay. Okay, so Kevin, we've got the mortgage taken care of, paid off all your short-term debts at this point. We have the burial expenses taken care of as well, and the kids' education. Then what I wanted to ask you is, if we got all of that taken care of, do you still want to leave some income for Rachel so that she can sustain the current standard of living? Okay, and so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say $3,000 a month.
$3,000 a month.
Yes.
Okay. And do you want to leave that for her for a certain period of time, lifetime? What's your thought?
Lifetime.
Lifetime. Okay. So if that was the case, we're talking about $36,000 a year that we have to somehow generate for her.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you another question. If I have a lump sum of money right now and I hand it to you, if you were to invest that money, what kind of return do you think you can get from that?
5%.
5%. Okay, so I'll tell you how I'm going to calculate as far as what that need would be to generate that $36,000 a year for her. Okay, I'm going to take the $36,000 and I'm going to divide it by 5%. That comes up with a number of $720,000. So what I'm saying is that you would need $720,000 sitting in some investment that at least return 5%. And if it does, then that will generate $36,000 a year for her. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. What about you? If Rachel was to pass and we've taken care of everything that we've discussed, do you still need income replacement?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Tell me about that. How much are you thinking that you will need?
For myself, I would say $3,000.
Same $3,000
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Okay. All right. No worries. So it's $720,000 as well.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now that we've got all that taken care of, final question for you is, do you have any other obligations or would like to have some money where you can set aside for other things such as charity, churches, anything like that that we would need to address?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. No relatives, no family members that you have to take care of outside of your immediate family?
My parents,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how much would you like to leave for them?
100,000.
Okay. So if I was to add all of this up, it looks like what you would need is $1,740,000 to be able to basically leave what you want for your family based on the conversation that we have, right? Okay, next question I have for you. If you were to pass today, what kind of savings do you currently have right now? How much is in it?
My savings account, I have 50,000.
Okay, and then what about other investments like 401k or rental properties or anything like that?
I have a 401k.
Okay, and how much is in there?
10,000.
10,000. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, so it looks like if I was to do this calculation, if you were to pass, if I take out the 401k and the savings account, there's still a need of $1,680,000 that we would need to have the life policy on you so Rachel will have the lifestyle you want for her and the children. Now, flipping that, $50,000 is still there in savings. Does Rachel have any 401k plans that she has in force right now that we can account for?
She doesn't, no.
Okay, so if that was the case, then we have a need of $1,690,000 that we will have to put on Rachel in order for you to maintain the same standard of living that you would want.
Okay.
That sounds right to you?
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So tell me about the different life insurance plans that you know.
I don't know much, to be honest, so that's why I'm here.
Okay. Yep, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the different plans first before we talk about the cost.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.